Sit. Good boy. Hello everyone, this is Joanna with Follow Me Canine Training. I want to make a quick video with you this morning on how to teach your dog to walk nicely on a leash. So Peter is a really good walker, so there's just some times where sit. There's some times where he isn't paying attention and wants to do something else, so that's where this comes in handy. So I'll just go through the steps with you. It is helpful to have a collar on your dog, and you want a collar, not a harness. Harnesses don't communicate, and they teach dogs to drive away from you and push away from you because there's what we call opposition reflex. So without getting into a whole spiel about that, put a collar on your dog and have something that gives pressure. So you either want a slip collar, a prong collar, a martingale collar, something that gives and releases pressure. Okay, good boy. That's a good boy. So sit. So I have a martingale on Peter right now. I've used a prong collar on him quite a bit. Peter, sit. Good boy. So this morning I'm using a martingale. That's it. And he doesn't pull really bad. It's just like little reminders he needs to pay attention. So what I'm first going to do is I'm going to start by turning away from the dog in a really quick rushed movement. Okay. So like if you play basketball, like pivot turn away from your dog. So if he's on my left, this is into my dog. This is away from my dog. Okay. So I want to turn away from him. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk with purpose. So walk with a good gait. The second he's not paying attention to me, I'm going to flip and turn away from him and go a different direction. Okay. So the first thing is getting their attention by turning away from them. So what's going to happen is he's not paying attention to me. The leash is going to pop and he's going to be like, oh, where'd mom go? Okay. So that's the goal, is that it kind of gets his attention. And then once we get his attention, then I'll tell you the next step. But the goal is anytime he starts to pass you, anytime he's not paying attention to you, if his nose goes on the ground, if he looks that direction and starts walking away, he doesn't have to be looking at you. He just has to be aware of where you're at. Okay. So it's not a formal heel, like a focused heel. It's I call it with me. I want my dog to be with me and stay with me. Okay. So I'll show you what this looks like. Let's go. Good boy. Good boy. So one correction, and he's like, oh, okay, good. So then the next step, good boy, sit. The next step that I do is I do a turn around the dog. So it's like doing a U-turn around him in front of him. So what this does is it kind of teaches the dog a position, but it also tells them that you own that space in front of them. Okay. So what I do is as he's coming up behind me, and you have to get your timing right, as he's coming up behind you, you're going to do a quick U-turn like that in front of him and around him. Okay. So I'll show you what that looks like again. Good boy. So it really teaches them nicely to stay right there. Good. And if your dog understands leash pressure, you can give a little leash pressure too when you do it. Good boy. That's a good boy. But it really helps get their attention and show them where you want them to be positioned. Sit. Good boy. So then the very next thing that you're going to do is you're going to do speed changes, and then you're going to do stops and starts. Okay. So when you're doing speed changes, you're going to do fast and slow and a medium pace and walk relaxed. And your goal is that your dog is matching your pace. You can do directional changes, absolutely. And then you want to do some stops and starts. So when I do stops, I like to emphasize my last step so the dog knows that I'm stopping and that that's their cue to sit. And then I fade that out as the dog gets better at it. So I'll just show you what that looks like. Come on, Peter, let's go. Yes! What a good boy! What a good boy! So that's what I want, okay? Good boy. Sit. I want him paying so good attention to me that he's moving and changing directions with me and just in tune with me. It's like a little dance once your dog gets with you. You don't necessarily need treats for this. You can use treats. You can use food. What I would do is I would use food anytime he sits when you stop. Anytime he checks in with you. Hey, no, let's go. Come on. Good. Sit. Sit. Let's go. Let's go. Good. So anytime he sit. You don't need to bark at me. Sit. Good. So that's how I teach dogs to walk nicely with me. It works for any dog. The biggest things I can say mistakes people make. Hey, no. Sit. That's enough. Sit. He sees people over there and he wants to go say hi. So the biggest mistake people make are like steering their dog. So I consider it like this, you know. It's like oversteering your car, okay? You don't want to steer your dog because that just frustrates the hell out of him. Can you see him? He's like frustrated as hell because he's like, what the fuck, Mom? No. Huh. Sit. So you don't want to oversteer your dog. You want to give pressure and then release pressure as soon as your dog does what you need them to, okay? So that's how I teach a dog to walk nicely on a leash with me. It's not hard. It takes a few minutes. And then what I do is anytime I go to a new place with my dog, anytime I'm in a new situation or before I even leave for a walk, I'm going to do this exercise to get them with me. And then before long, you won't have to do it anymore, but it's just a way to teach your dog to stay with you. And the other thing is, come here, Peter. Good boy. Sit. Sit. Good. Is you, where was I going with that? Sorry, guys. Start on pavement. Pavement is a lot less distracting. So if you have a driveway, a cul-de-sac, a street that you can work in, I'm in a parking lot right now, so that's ideal. Anytime there's grass, it's going to be more distracting. So start on pavement, get your dog's brain with you, and then you can move up to more distracting environments like grass or sidewalks, things like that with more smells. So start low. You can even start in your house if you have to, and work up. If you have any questions, you can post them in the comments. I'm happy to answer them for you. As always, I appreciate likes, follows, subscribes, comments, all of that. That really helps me, but it also helps me help you. So my goal is to be able to help people that maybe can't afford training with these videos. So I know there's a lot of information out there. There's so many ways to train a dog. Like the way I teach you is what works for many dogs that I work with, but not all dogs. So there are so many methods that you can use. So if you have questions, please post them in the comments. I can always show you other ways of training these things too. I have a previous video about teaching Peter how to heel. That actually works really well too for some dogs. but not all. A lot of dogs, once they start getting out in the environment and they don't care about treats anymore, so then you've got to find a different way to work with your dog. So I have found this method to work very well. Hello. This is William. He's my assistant dog untrainer. But I appreciate all of you so much. Please like, share, and comment. I really appreciate that so much. Hope you have a wonderful day. Bye. Say bye, Peter. Oh, puppy.